Hey everyone, welcome. Today we're going to talk about a really cool idea. What if your business strategy wasn't some static, boring document, but a living, breathing process? We're going to break down exactly how to give it a pulse, a real heartbeat that actually drives everything your company does.
So, right off the bat, let me ask you this. Does your business strategy actually have a pulse? I mean, really? Or is it just sitting on a shelf somewhere, collecting dust? It's a great way to think about it, because a strategy that's alive is active, it's responsive, and it's constantly pumping energy into your organization.
And that's exactly where this idea of the strategic heartbeat comes in. It's the whole shebang, the entire end-to-end process that makes a strategy, well, tick. It starts with that first little spark of an idea and carries all the way through to how it gets deployed out in the real world. This is the rhythm we're looking for. Okay, so part one. The first phase of getting this heartbeat going is what we can call the diagnosis. And it's just like a doctor checking your vitals. Before you do anything else, you have to get a super clear, totally honest picture of where you are right now. This is where all great strategies begin, on a solid foundation of knowing the facts. Now, what's really interesting is how this diagnosis is structured. The very first step is to identify 10 key fundamental areas of your business. We're talking about things like your financials, your products, your position in the market. And look, this isn't some random checklist. It's about systematically taking apart your operation to see what's really going on under the hood. So, once you've got those 10 areas all mapped out, the next move is to figure out the driving force. What's the real momentum in your market? Is it a new technology, like AI changing everything? Or maybe it's a big shift in what customers want, like a huge push for sustainability. Nailing this down is absolutely crucial because it tells you where the energy and the future of your industry is really heading. All right, let's move on to part two, because this is where things get really interesting. We've done our homework, we've done the diagnosis, and now we're at the crossroads. This is that critical moment where all that analysis has to turn into real, solid decisions. No more just thinking about it, it's time to choose a path. Now, the important thing here is that this isn't just guesswork. You're not just throwing darts at a board. The whole process is guided. You're actually given key strategic questions that force you to focus. A question might be something like, which customer group should we actually stop serving to focus our resources better? See, the right question just cuts through all the noise and forces you to get crystal clear. And this brings up a really good question for you to think about. When you look at your own business or your own team, what are those critical choices you're facing right now? The ones that will truly define your path forward. That is the absolute heart of strategy, finding those few vital decisions that are going to make all the difference. And all of that leads us right into our final phase, the blueprint. This is where we take those huge decisions and we translate them into a concrete, actionable plan. This is where the strategy stops being just an idea in a conference room and becomes a real guide that your entire team can actually use.
Yeah, check this out. It shows perfectly how everything connects. I mean, think of it like a giant funnel. All the data from your diagnosis and the direction from those key decisions you made, they all get poured in together. They're the raw ingredients that get boiled down into one single, powerful business concept. That's your blueprint. Nothing gets wasted. Every single piece has a purpose. So let's just zoom out for a second and look at the whole journey. This is the strategic thinking process in a nutshell. It kicks off with analysis. That's our diagnosis. Then it moves to decision-making, the crossroads. Then you've got formulation, that's building the blueprint. And finally, deployment, which is all about bringing that blueprint to life. It's a really logical, really powerful flow from thought to action.
But hold on, we're not quite done yet. There's one last super important step you can't skip. You have to anticipate the implications of your strategy. What does that mean? It means you literally walk through it, step by step, to figure out the real-world consequences. What's this going to mean for your team, for your customers, for your bottom line? A great strategy isn't just a plan. It's about seeing its ripple effects before they happen. And that brings us right to the end. We've walked through the whole thing: diagnosis, decision-making, and building the blueprint. So now that you've seen the process, I'll just leave you with this final thought. What's the very first beat of your strategic heartbeat going to be? What's the one thing you can do, maybe even today, to get it ticking?